Welcome back to our channel and another Living Connected for 11-ish minutes video. This time we're going to be talking about divine timing and patience with waiting for things to unfold that are meant to be.
Before I get into my story that deals with divine timing, we want to share something from inside the 411 community that just happened, because we're receiving beautiful messages from the community members, and they're based off of different things that they're trying. So there's energy healings in there, there's card readings, we have guided meditations and practices, and someone shared this experience with us that just made me smile, and I just think that we should share it because it's a beautiful story of connection that happened from a meditation.
So the meditation that she was doing, and this is from Kathy inside the community, and she was doing the Cabin in the Woods. Is that what it's called?
I believe so.
It's the Cabin in the Woods meditation. So anyway, she kind of went into it open-minded, but she was really wanting to connect with her mother. And
because the purpose of the Cabin in the Woods meditation is to meet a loved one in the cabin in the woods.
Mm-hmm. So she kind of went into it with an open mind, but focused on trying to connect with her mom. And so she started the meditation, and she went into the cabin, and there was a table inside, and she sat down in the chair, and she, like I said, she was completely open to whoever was going to be there, but she was thinking and hoping it was going to be her mom. And all of a sudden her dog that had passed jumped from another chair into her lap, and she'd had that dog for 14 years, and she said that she had never expected to be able to hug that dog again, and that dog was like her everything, and the dog was a mama's girl, and it was a very special dog. So it was just a really special moment for her that was completely unexpected. She never expected to see her dog again and be able to hug her dog. So it was pretty cool. Yeah. That it kind of caught her off guard from the message she sent. It totally surprised her. That's my dog. Oh my gosh, And so I thought that was a pretty neat story.
It wasn't what she expected, but it's exactly what she needed.
Yeah.
And I love that. She said when she walked into the cabin, she could just feel this immense amount of love. And I think that's part of why she was kind of expecting it to be her mom.
Yeah.
That she was feeling. So then when her sweet dog jumped into her lap and she got to hug her dog again, I mean, that is just such a really special story of connection, because if you open your heart to it, it could be a simple, I don't remember if that's like an 8-minute meditation or a 15-minute, I don't remember, but something like that can happen just like that. Mm-hmm. And that's what we want people to open up to.
Yeah. And like she said, she wasn't expecting it, but it's what she needed. And the fact that she wasn't expecting it makes it even more magical, because obviously somebody knew it was what she needed, and so it was pretty cool. It's not something she fabricated in her mind because it caught her completely off guard. So
yeah, it was extra special, and I love that she let us share the photograph of her sweet pup too. So thanks for that, Kathy. The story that I want to share about divine timing is actually all about a lady named Suzanne Giesemann. And if you're in the spiritual world at all, if you've been into this sort of stuff, or if you're into meditation or mediumship, you've maybe heard of Suzanne Giesemann because she's world-renowned evidential medium. She's super famous. I think it's like top 10 influential spiritual people that are alive at this time. I mean, she's kind of a big deal. And back in the day before our daughter Kenadie passed, I had never heard of her. I had never looked into this sort of thing. But now that I'm into the spiritual world, she's right up my alley. Everything that she talks about is just really authentic, really beautiful, but in this super real way. She just talks about stuff in a way that lets me hold on to it and trust it because of who she is and her story. So I'll get into that. But this is just a really fun example of how there's a bigger picture going on that we don't understand. And if we're patient, sometimes we get to find out even years later what it's leading you to. So how this all started was my friend Julie invited me to go to a gallery mediumship event in Seattle. So this event had a famous evidential medium that would come and be in a room full of people, and he would do readings for certain selected people, just randomly selected people. I could tell that he was really good at what he did. I thought he did a good job. However, there were aspects of it that I didn't feel super connected to. Just maybe the energy or the way that that he maybe spoke to some of the people that were grieving in the audience just didn't sit right in my heart. But my friend Julie had really loved him, and, she was so excited for the event. So afterwards, when she asked me if I enjoyed it, I didn't really want to be honest with her because, I didn't want to burst her bubble, but I was. And I said I was just a little bit disappointed with how he spoke to some people, And she said, well, shoot, now I'm not going to, she couldn't see him in the same light anymore. And she got rid of all the books that she'd had and everything. And so she now no longer really enjoyed his work. And I felt bad that I had said anything because, she just couldn't see him in the same light any longer. Shortly after that, she sees me and she says, there's somebody that I want you to look up. She is the real deal. You're going to love her, but I really want your opinion on her. Her name's Suzanne Giesemann. Now, because I had already ruined her bubble or bursted her bubble with the other one, I was like, I'm not going to look into this person because what if I don't like her? I don't want to lie about it, but I don't want to, she likes her, so it doesn't matter if I do. So I decided not to Google her name, not to look her up. So on my phone, I had never looked up or spoken of Suzanne Giesemann. A couple days later, Suzanne Giesemann sends me a friend request on Instagram. And, the name's a unique name, so I remembered it from my friend mentioning it. And I looked, and this is how my brain works, is I'm thinking that she's so connected that her guides somehow helped her find me and friend request me, and she was following the nudge because maybe she and I were meant to be friends or something. It's just ridiculous, but this is what I'm thinking. And this is my private account. This was before 411 had launched. So she's sending a friend request to my private account. And right as I went to accept it from my new best friend, Suzanne Giesemann, I noticed that her last name has an extra N at the end. Because I was like, there's no way her name is spelt with 3 N's at the end of Geeseman. So I realized that it was a fake account. Someone was spamming me, and I did not accept the request. But in that moment, I realized that I was being nudged to look into her. So I did. So I Googled Suzanne's name. I realized that she's written a lot of books about mediumship and about her experience, sharing her story. I also found out that she's a retired, high-ranking Navy commanding officer. She's, I didn't know this at the time, but it turns out that she wasn't born evidential medium. She wasn't born with some sort of special gift. She was just like me, going along her daily life, living very human focused, not connecting across the veil, and didn't even know if she believed in that sort of stuff. And again, just like me, it was loss that pushed her in the direction of looking into more. So she lost her stepdaughter, Susan, who was struck by lightning when she was pregnant. And it was that horrendous loss that made her question everything and say, there has to be more. And where did Susan go? She believed in her heart that her stepdaughter, Susan, was still existing. So she was trying to find out how to reach her. And so she reached out to a medium that she trusted. She reached out to other mediums that she was interviewing. She was writing books, but she didn't realize that she could connect herself. And that's what changed everything for me. I'm reading a book that she wrote called Wolf's Message. Inside the book, and Wolf's Message is amazing, but inside the book I realized that Suzanne wasn't born a medium, that she was trained to be a medium and to open herself up to that connection. And as I'm reading it, I said, wait, can I do that? And right then I tipped my head back in the chair that I was sitting in, and I'm looking up at the ceiling, just kind of pondering this thought. And there's a chandelier above our living room, and there's one light bulb in the chandelier that starts blinking, and it just keeps going and going. And it's only ever done that one other time during a special thing that happened a different time. So I know that that was my girl confirming what I was feeling and what I was thinking. And I thought, well, that's it. So I bought more of Suzanne's books. I did an online mediumship training with her because this was after COVID. So I couldn't go and do one in person. So I was doing stuff online. And I was just really diving in and opening up to the possibility that I could learn how to be a medium. I thought maybe that was my path. And then I was kind of magically guided to an in-person session because I felt the nudge to take an in-person class. I had checked that morning. There were no in-person classes still available since COVID. As I was going to bed, I felt the nudge again to check. And I'd been looking for months. And I thought, why would I check again? I just checked this morning. But I opened up her website and looked. And sure enough, there was an in-person event that had just been posted that day. I booked it. You were gone. I didn't even ask him. I booked it. I booked the airfare, which, like, we talk about stuff. So I normally wouldn't do that without checking with him and just making sure that week was a good week for me to go and do this and whatever. I booked it. I flew across the country to Georgia and took an in-person training with Suzanne and got to meet her in person and talk to her. I've also been to channeling event that she did where she was a keynote speaker. I traveled to another state for that. We went on a road trip and I got to witness her because that's what she does as well, is she channels messages straight from her guides. Like, it needed to come from her for me to believe it. She is just really authentic. She's really down to earth. She's really real. I don't know how else to word it, but I believe her stories and I believe her experiences, and to sit in a room and witness her channeling messages from source, from her guides, from across the veil, it all rings true in my heart. And I have no doubt that what she says is the truth. And it's like an honor to sit there and hear these messages, even though I'm living connected, to just sit there and, close my eyes and just listen to the words that are coming from something higher than me. It feels like a gift. It's just something really special to witness and experience. And when we decided that we were going to launch the 411 community, I remember telling you that I was going to try to manifest Suzanne to come into the community and to do an event like that, to do something where she shares her story and where she does a channeling event for the people inside the community, because I want them to feel what I got to feel when I traveled and went and listened to her in person. It's just something you can't describe unless you sit there and witness it yourself. So I was just hoping and praying that someday she would come into the community and that would happen. And we only launched it a little over a month ago. And Suzanne is now coming into the community on June 30th. So if you're seeing this before June 30th, you can participate in her channeling session live. You can join us for the event. Every community member has access to it. If you see this after June 30th of 2026, you can still join the 411 community and watch the replay, because that will always live in there for sure. We'll be recording it from multiple angles to make sure that it never goes away, because I just can't believe that this happened. And that when I look back at having that fake spam account sent to me and me being nudged to look into her, and then just all these little synchronicities and events. I mean, I didn't share all of it because this is supposed to be an 11-minute video. There's more that happened, but it led us to this moment. She was meant to come into the 411 community and to do this event inside of there. And I'm just blown away by how cool this is and how led we were to this moment. And obviously she follows the nudges too, because she accepted our invitation to do that. And, it's perfect timing because her book, Always Connected, just came out. It's our first book club choice inside the community. So she's also going to be getting to talk about that and her insights from the book when she comes and joins us. And the whole thing just feels magical and feels totally guided. Do you feel that way too?
Yeah. Suzanne's story is kind of the whole guiding force behind 411, kind of how we decided to do it the way we're doing it, because like our message is that we're just normal people like everybody else out there that just for whatever reason in our lives, whether with us it's a loss, with Suzanne it was loss. It's a lot of things for people, but sometimes there's a moment or a thing that happens in their life that pushes them to try something differently in a different direction. And like, that's our story and that's her story. And we didn't live those lives before that time. So it's kind of like what Suzanne did is exactly what we're doing. And it's why we can relate to it so much, I think.
Yeah, I think her mission and message is very similar to ours. And she helped me accept that was our path as well. Mm-hmm. And she was my mentor without knowing that she was my mentor.
Yeah, I remember you saying specifically, like, anybody can learn how to do this. Like,
it changed my life.
Yeah, like my whole life, I thought you had to be born with these special gifts, and you don't. So like that's our message for everybody out there, is that you don't have to be born. We all are born with these special gifts. It's just whether we tune them and stay in touch with them and work at them is the key.
What was really neat is I felt nudged to take that online course and to take that in-person mediumship course, and it worked. I was connecting with deceased people across the veil that I had never met. I didn't know the person that I was the sitter, the person that I was doing the reading for. I didn't know anything about them. I didn't know anything about their loved ones. And yet messages were coming through that I was telling them about. I wasn't even believing it. I'm like, well, now I'm seeing this, or now I'm thinking this. And they would go, that's my dad. Like they were confirming it for me. And I was like, what? And then I remember being like, oh, I guess I'm going to be a medium.
Yeah. And like a lot of people even that follow 411 might not know that you are a medium.
Yeah.
You don't do it. It's not your passion.
It's not my calling.
It's not your calling or whatever, but you're very good at it, and you did learn how to do it, and you do know how to do it. Why
I needed to do that was because, so I did that. I learned how, and it felt easy. It felt like, oh, I can connect with people across the veil and give their loved ones a message. How comforting and how beautiful, and what a mission that is. And I thought that must be what I'm meant to do. And then I started doing readings, and every time, even when they were just beautiful messages and readings that were happening, but I still just wasn't feeling fulfilled. So I knew that, I'm really tuned into my team. My team was letting me know that wasn't my path, but I didn't know why, because I kept thinking, what could be better than to help comfort people that were grieving like we were grieving, and bring them messages from their loved ones. To give voice to someone who's across the veil, who doesn't get to speak like they used to be able to share their message, is a great what's the word I'm looking for?
It's like a privilege, kind of like
it's a great privilege. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I was surprised when I was like, oh, this isn't my path. Why am I? It was confusing and frustrating at the time. But now I can look back and realize that I was meant to take those courses and those classes and feel that connection, because that helped me trust the connection that I was already having with Kenadie. Because it was after that I did a reading for you, and Kenadie came through with proof that was undeniable for both of us. And that was the moment that my heart accepted that I really was connecting with her. But I had to connect with strangers first.
Yeah. I think like what I've always felt with you with that was you not only just so you can establish your connection and believe in yourself, but what we're creating with the 411 community is sharing our story, where our message, like I said, is that anybody can do this. So by you doing it, you're proof. Like you're just a normal mom just trying to get through life like everybody else, and you did it. And just because it wasn't your calling to do it like full time as a job, or like, to dedicate all your time to it, doesn't mean it's not valuable. But you can literally tell people that they can do it. If that's what their passion is, if they want to do that, they can do it, because I did it. And we created this place where we were bringing people in who do those things, who are really passionate about it. That is their calling. That is their purpose in life, to do those things. And then we can introduce people who don't know anything about it to those people. So like that's kind of the point of what we're trying to do. So.
Yeah. I now understand my mission and my purpose more clearly. And it's to help everybody realize that they can live more connected in whatever capacity you want that to look like. And if you, along the path, you're like, oh, I think I want to be a medium, I will encourage you to go to that training and go look at Suzanne Giesemann, go watch her YouTube channel, go check out her website. That lady knows what she's doing. Like, she will help. She will walk you. Like, she is one of the best teachers. She is so organized. And so, you know, I think from her military background, she just knows exactly what she's doing. And I learned so well from her that I can't speak highly enough of her. She is, if you want to be a medium, she's someone that you should look into, like, or just live connected.
Like you said, we went on that road trip to go to that convention, and we live in Washington, and we drove all the way to Salt Lake City, and it was basically because Suzanne was there.
Yeah.
That was mainly the reason for, I mean, there was more also, but that was the main driving force. Like, we drove across like 3 states to get there, you know.
I wanted to witness a channeling session by her. I knew she was going to be doing that at the event, and also just sharing her stories. But I'm telling you, there's something special about witnessing that message from someone that you believe in your heart. Like, if you look into Suzanne, you will believe in your heart, I'm guessing, that what she's talking about is the truth. That what she's sharing is really coming from somewhere outside of her and somewhere outside of us, right? And being able to be connected to that and to hear the words that come out of her mouth when she's channeling is beautiful. And I can't believe that she's coming into the community to do that event. We're so grateful that she's doing this. And, you know, hopefully you guys, if you want to look into her, you don't have to come in and join the event if you don't want to, but if you're feeling nudged to look into her, there's tons online about, and so do that. But you can also experience a channeling session on June 30th if you'd like, and we'll have the information down in the caption, but you can go to 411together.com to join the community, because like I said, every member will have access to it. It's $4.11 a month, and you can come and check out the event and check out the community and see if it's a place that you'd like to stick around for. And we would be honored to have you inside there.
And there's more than that in there. There's a lot of events. And like she said in the beginning of the video, there's meditations and things. But she does a monthly archangelic light energy healing. And we have other guests come in every month with new people, different mediums, different modalities, and different things to check out. So it's kind of a pretty cool place to check things out, like, if you're interested.
Yeah, we're just getting started with it, and it's already turned into something that I don't know that I was dreaming big with it, but what's happening inside there is blowing my mind. So I'm just really excited for whatever's to come. Check it out if you want, but we'll be there.
Yeah, if not, at least check out Suzanne Giesemann. She's pretty awesome.
Yeah, she is. All right, thanks.